Well, it was in 1976. We had relatives visiting in our home, and they are from Colorado, and Ed always traveled with Navajo rugs in his trunk, and he would try to sell them to the motel when they stopped at a motel or whatever. But anyway, they were here, and we had just added this room that I'm sitting in to our home, and had a fireplace that did not have a mantle. It was just all brick. And Ed said, "Hey, Wanda, you need a Navajo rug for the fireplace." So he brought out about 35 rugs, and we did select some and found the right one for the fireplace. And here we are in southern Illinois, a long way from the Navajo Nation. But after Ed talked about the Navajo rugs and how interesting they were, about the weavers, and how difficult they raise their sheep, they shear the sheep, they clean the wool, they dye the wool, and then they weave. Well, to make a long story short, we bought some rugs, and that's how we got started in 1976. But we did not become a business until 1981, and when I felt that there was some interest in this area for Indian art. I soon found that the ones interested in Indian art in this area, perhaps I had saturated their buying, so I started setting up at Indian art sponsored shows. Promoters came from the West Coast and to the Midwest, and they would, like St. Louis, I set up, I guess St. Louis was probably the first show that I went to, sponsored by the Gateway Indian Art Club. And that's how I got some of my customers. Then I started advertising in the American Indian Art magazine, and did that for many years. And this is how I built up my clientele. And then I have gone, I guess I traveled with the Indian art for at least 20 years plus, traveling from Chicago to Atlanta to Tulsa to Indianapolis, Nashville many times, St. Louis many times, Louisville, South Bend, Indiana, and that's how I built up my clientele. We would put on shows for them. We would have them we would invite guests into our home, and I never had a storefront gallery. I just operated out of my home because in the little town that I lived in would not be feasible to have a store. But my customers were more all over the United States, from Texas to California to Virginia to Florida, and made many friends through the years with our Indian art. Then I did advertise through the magazines, and word of mouth is about the best, because we do have quality Indian art. We bought as a collector, and we bought unique Indian art. We tried to find the most unique art, and it has proved successful. We enjoy every purchase that we made, every artist. We made so many friends with from our artists, and still have kept them to this day. Well, time went on, and in 2007 I became seriously ill, and I thought I would never be able to travel to the Southwest or promote my art at shows, Indian art sponsored shows. So I gave up my website, my tax number, and my name. For many years, starting in 1981, I was Indian Art Unlimited. But in 2007, I gave this all up and just absorbed all of the Indian art as my personal collection. Now, as I'm getting older I'm needing to downsize my collection, and this is what I'm trying to do via the internet. I have a lot of quality, desirable Indian art, and it's time that a lot of it found a new home. We still have not shown all of the collection. We just have, I haven't mentioned many of the artists, but we have Marie and Santana, we have Hopi art, we have a lot of Acoma pottery, we have a lot of Navajo rugs, San Domingo pottery, Zuni fetishes, Zuni beadwork, Hopi kachinas. We have some bronzes, signed and numbered bronzes by Tammy. We have one by Tammy Garcia. We do have quality art, and there surely must be someone out there that is wanting our art in their home.